Let me start that over because apparently I can't talk today. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. If you're new here, my name is Morgan. I'm a second-year medical student at NYU Grossman School of Medicine, sharing all things pre-med tips, my med school journey, and life living in New York City. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on anytime I share new content. So we are in the middle of application season for those applying to medical school, and it is like pre-writing secondaries season. At the end of this month, like AMCAS is going to start transmitting applications to medical schools. COMLEX and TMDS does that a little bit earlier, but I know the bulk majority of people are applying via AMCAS, so I'm like kind of working on that timeline. So I felt like it was the perfect time to share my secondary application essays with you guys. So the first thing that I wanted to do, just because it's been a long time since I shared this and I don't know if I've actually ever shared it on my YouTube channel, I wanted to share the schools that I was accepted to when I applied to medical school. So this is like literally no particular order, it's just the order that I had it like so from my med school app tracker, which you guys can get on my website for free. But I was accepted into Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine, WashU in St. Louis, Vanderbilt, Johns Hopkins, Emory, Baylor, NYU, Grossman School of Medicine, Georgetown, University of Virginia, USC School of Medicine, Columbia, USC School of Medicine, Greenville, and the Medical University of South Carolina, or MUSC. So those were my 12 acceptances. I also got full ride scholarships, so full cost of attendance, and some full tuition scholarships. And so I just want to take the time to share a couple of my secondary essays. I'm going to share my secondary essays from Northwestern. So they were super short. Like the first prompt was, the Feinberg School of Medicine values diversity as a measure of excellence. We define diversity as the totality of the characteristics and experiences of our students. We believe that a diverse student body improves the educational environment and the ability of our graduates to serve an increasingly diverse patient population. Everyone has their own narrative. Please provide more detail about how your experiences will enrich the Northwestern community. So TLDR, this is a diversity essay if you didn't get the gist from the amount of times that diverse was in the prompt. And there's so many ways that you can like approach this essay. So here's how I approached it. My high school career culminated in an immersive experience at the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind after a year of learning American Sign Language. Although I had difficulties keeping up with the conversations, I enjoyed assisting first graders with spelling after school. One girl repeatedly included K as she fingerspelled apple. She could not sound out words but had to memorize the order of the letters, so I spelled out similar words to help her. This interaction pushed me into a new zone of communication, and in doing so, I could appreciate better and understand someone else's unique circumstances. This moment paralleled the barriers I faced growing up as a Black female. There was times when I longed not to be perceived as different from others. I cannot change my skin color, just as being deaf is an integral part of someone's identity. Meeting those who are different from you is catalytic in encountering and appreciating new ideas, perspectives, and cultures. Immersing myself in the deaf community, combined with my own experience as a minority, has prepared me to collaborate with diverse groups, a perspective I will share with my medical school classmates. So that's how I approach that. I think that like my identity being like a Black woman in medicine, also being just like something I realize like honestly like does bring diversity to classes after I've been in medical school, is like just coming from a family like you don't have parents that are doctors, and things like that. So those are all things that like were important to me, but also I think like just my experience like learning like other languages and interacting, like that was really influential. Like I started that class at my high school, so I thought it was just something that I wanted to include in my secondary essays. So another one is, given the distinctive educational philosophy and integrated curriculum at FSM, describe how your personal characteristics and learning style would align with the institution. So this is essentially a why us essay. So why this school? Why do you want to go there? So here we go. Read this one. I will never forget the feeling of connecting with and understanding a patient without an interpreter in Alajuela, Costa Rica. I can continue towards my goal of Spanish fluency through the community health clinic at FSM because of the high Hispanic population they serve and early clinical experience. Additionally, I am determined to ensure that my patients never feel that their culture or health literacy level impacts their quality of care. The first building block to inclusivity is education, and I believe that the curriculum's health equity and advocacy thread lays that necessary foundation. As a Black female, I plan to share my background and experiences as a minority with my classmates so we can all become more aware of the cultural differences that may impact a patient's healthcare decisions. Growing up, I always wanted to know how topics connect in school or why people make certain decisions. The flexibility to research a topic of interest through the areas of scholarly concentration and make connections between concepts and the synthesis and application modules aligns with my learning style. For these reasons, FSM is the best place to support me as I embark on this journey. So I think it's like really important to like pick like a couple of key things that the school has, and so like for me it was really like making sure that diversity, health equity, advocacy, like in the flesh, so like not just saying, oh, we care about like health equity and advocacy, but like having a free clinic where we can serve like underrepresented patients, or you know, like doing health equity research, different things like that I think was very important to me. And then also like being able to work with patient populations that speak Spanish and having those learning opportunities were kind of like the key things that I looked for in medical schools. So of course those were kind of what I highlighted in my secondary essays, especially the ones geared towards why this school. The next one is the COVID essay. So describe how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted your pathway to medical school. Include any academic, personal, financial, or professional barriers, as well as any other relevant information. So this is like, did you lose clinical experience due to the COVID pandemic? This is the time to explain it, but also for me, it was like showing like how I had some resilience and how the COVID-19 pandemic like influenced my desire to go to medical school. And I think this will probably be an essay that continues to be included in medical school applications for the near future. So here's mine. I left my medical mission trip in Costa Rica knowing I wanted to become fluent in Spanish. That following semester, I extended my undergraduate degree from 3 to 4 years so I could study abroad in Sevilla, Spain, where I plan to immerse myself in the Spanish language and culture while gaining international shadowing experience. The program was canceled during the COVID-19 pandemic and has not resumed. Despite the setback, I have kept my Spanish minor and still aim to achieve Spanish fluency before becoming a physician. In place of studying abroad, I started an internship at a family medicine practice in August of 2020. On my first day, I was given a KN95 mask and began assisting with COVID-19 tests in our parking lot. From there, I started recruiting participants for a research study to develop a saliva-based COVID-19 test and later developed our drive-through vaccination program. I became passionate about educating patients on the virus, vaccines, and how to keep yourself safe. Most importantly, I was able to envision how I can weave community outreach into my practice as a physician, and I gained a stronger passion for health education and preventive medicine. So that was just kind of like what I did during the COVID pandemic. So it's like really sucks because I didn't get to study abroad, but I still got to have this experience working at the practice that I had like majority of my clinical experience from. And the bulk of my application was focused on health education, public health, because that's what my undergrad degree was in. Therefore, it was really cool. It was really cool just to be able to like tie that back together, and that was something that really was solidified for me during my internship. Alright guys, that was 3 essays for my secondary application to Northwestern. This was not only one of the schools that I was accepted to, but one of the schools that I got a full tuition scholarship, which at the time was their largest merit scholarship that they offered to applicants, accepted students, and incoming students. So if you guys are writing your secondary applications, thinking about that, make sure that you pre-write. It is so important. It will save you so much time when secondary essays start coming, because you really want to make sure that you're hitting that around 2-week deadline if you can, while also submitting essays that represent the best version of you. If you want a little bit of extra help with your secondary applications, make sure to check out my course, A Step-by-Step Guide to Secondary Applications. It covers everything you need to know to get started with pre-writing secondary essays, including which ones you should pre-write, which ones you should save for later, how to pre-write in order that's going to maximize your efficiency, as well as 25 examples of successful secondary application essays. Make sure to check that out. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. If there's something else that you're looking forward to seeing on my channel, whether it's my life in medical school, pre-med, applying to medical school, MCAT, all that good jazz, make sure to drop that in the comments. Also make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the next time I share new content. Take care.